Hey everyone, Eric here from A1Athlete.com, and today we'll be reviewing the Bellabooty belt. So this is a really interesting product. It's basically a belt designed to replace the barbell hip thrust, right? So a lot of times when people are doing the barbell hip thrust, they get pain throughout their hips, you get bruising through there, and it's just not something that's super comfortable to do for some people. So Bellabooty designed this belt to hold up to 400 pounds, which was a little bit mind-blowing. You don't really see belts like this, and I would have thought that maybe you can put 50-pound dumbbells on this thing and that would reach its limit. So I had to test this thing out, and I brought it along to one of my leg days to see how it held up. Needless to say, this thing is super convenient. I was able to just toss it into my gym bag and bring it to the gym. It's super light. You really don't even notice it at all. I would say it's really good for at-home gyms. So if you have a small space, or you're on a budget, you don't want to spend a couple $100 setting yourself up with a barbell and a couple bumper plates or standard plates for that matter. This thing costs $60 and it does a good job. We'll get more into it a little bit later and its limitations, but if you're just looking for a cheap way to do hip thrusts, especially with a small space, this is a great way to do that. So going back to how convenient this thing is, the setup itself is really quick. The Velcro made me a little bit skeptical because I thought there's no way that Velcro is going to hold that much weight, but it was really easy to wrap around the dumbbells or the plates or the kettlebells, and it did a really good job of holding. So there was no slipping at all. There was nothing breaking or stretching too much, and it was actually really comfortable across the waist. I tried it with a bunch of different weights, so 50 pounds, 70 pound, 80 pound dumbbells tops. It was feeling pretty good. There was no strain across my hips or anything like that. Once we got to the heavier dumbbells, so my gym maxed out at 100-pound dumbbells. I was able to test this out for 200 pounds, which it absolutely crushed. Was no problem at all. The only issue was that the bigger the dumbbells got, the more pinching I got in my hips. So this wouldn't really be an issue at all if you're planning on doing anything, I would say 70, 80 pounds or lighter. But if you're going onto bigger dumbbells in general, then be aware of, you might get a little bit of pinching in the hips, and that wasn't super comfortable. But if I did anything around 50 pounds, 60 pounds, it was perfect and I had no issues at all. So yes, bigger dumbbells, they do pinch your hips, but I never had any issues across my hips at all. So that part where the barbell usually is, there was no problem at all. I had zero pain, zero, kind of like the Velcro wasn't pulling across there at all. It was really comfortable. The belt itself is really high quality. There was, the stitching and everything about it, the material, it was really solid. It felt really good. You can tell Bellabooty really wanted to make this premium experience for you. The back of the belt has a little bit of like a rubberized material, super high quality. It actually really helped with avoiding any sort of slipping on my hips, especially as I was setting up. It was kind of nice. You're trying to kind of scoot yourself under the weight, and then as soon as you push up, sometimes the bar will roll down into your hips. This rubber kind of kept it nice in place with the belt here. I noticed on their website that they showed people doing different exercises other than hip thrusts. So they were doing squats and lunges and push-ups. I decided to give it a try, and what I found was, yes, it definitely works, but only if you're using lighter weights. So for squats and lunges, you kind of got to take the belt and put it over top of your shoulders, which again, super easy to do if you're doing something lighter. As soon as you're trying to push weight, I don't know how much weight you'd be doing, but I tried it around 30 pounds. Dumbbells on each side, so 60 pounds total. It was a little bit awkward to get it over on top of my shoulders, which again is not a big deal at all if you're doing lighter weight. But if you're trying to push heavy, barbell is still hard to beat with this. The push-ups were really cool actually. It's you just put it across your waist, across your back I would say, and then do some push-ups, and it really did provide some resistance. It was kind of a quick and easy way to, instead of trying to balance a plate on your back and having it fall onto your hands, you just put this belt across your back and you were good to go. So super high quality material, the Velcro is really good, and it's extremely convenient. One of the big issues, I already mentioned the bigger dumbbells pinching your hips. The other issue was that if you're using bigger dumbbells or plates or kettlebells, they tend to hang down further than dumbbells do, right? Or smaller dumbbells do. And what that does is it decreases your range of motion, because you're gonna hit those dumbbells, kettlebells, plates on the floor a lot quicker than before you get down into your full rep. Now again, that's just an issue if you're using plates or kettlebells or bigger dumbbells, and it can easily be avoided if you can set yourself up with putting a box under your feet or being on a higher surface. Then you don't really have that block of the floor. The other thing that's a little bit inconvenient is you're limited to whatever dumbbells you have. So in my case, I had 100-pound dumbbells. That was my limit. I couldn't go higher than 200 pounds on these things, which was okay if that's, that's not a weight you're trying to push towards, but that's just something to keep in mind, that whatever you have, that's what you got to work with. It's not as easy as loading up a bar with a plate and then just adding, whatever weight you want on top of it. Obviously that's for more weight generally, but something to keep in mind. So I would recommend the Bellabooty belt to anybody that wants to have an easy and convenient way to do hip thrusts at home, or anybody that wants to try hip thrusting without the barbell. If you are trying to push a little bit heavier weight, I do recommend trying a barbell and putting a foam pad underneath to kind of go between the barbell and your hips, or trying out a hip thrust machine. Not every gym has them, but they're definitely a good option if the barbell causes some discomfort and you want to push heavier weight. So while it may not be for me because I like to push heavier weight with this sort of thing, if you're going for lighter reps or more reps type of training, or you want to do some at-home stuff, this thing is perfect and it won't disappoint. For 60 bucks, I can definitely recommend the Bellabooty belt. It's a really great product. They did a really good job building it. It's really well built and really comfortable. I will be using it over the next couple months just to see how it holds up. If you want to know my updated thoughts, be sure to hit that subscribe button and check the comments in a couple months for those thoughts. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. Otherwise, have a great day and ever forward in becoming an A1 athlete.